Guys, welcome to episode 11, the session series. And today I'm going to do a video explaining how to use the new study bot that I created in the latest video series. So this video is intended for users, for testers, for people documenting, etc. So let's check this out. First, locate at the workspaces a new plugin workspace called StudyBot Demo. Let me see here. Here it is. Okay, so you load this, and this is exactly what you are seeing at this video. So a StudyBot, by definition, is like an indicator bot. It's a bot that has data dependencies and produces an output or several outputs, and with the difference that an indicator bot is constrained, its data dependencies uh, is constrained in the sense that you can process only information from the same chart of the same market of the same exchange. For example, if you're calculating Bollinger Bands at 1 hour, then you can see candles at 1 hour of the same market of the same exchange. Okay, you cannot even see candles of 2 hours or whatever other indicator candle is an example. Okay, so it's very constrained and uh, is like that because essentially all indicators or most indicators in existence out there works like that. They take information from the same chart of the same market of the same exchange. But what if we want to calculate, for example, uh, uh, we want to make calculations that involve information at different charts of the same market, or at different charts, or at the same chart at different markets, okay, or at the same market but at different exchanges, or whatever mix we want. A study bot can do that, can opens the door to do whatever you can imagine. Of course, it's a little bit more computationally intensive, so you still should prefer to use uh, indicator bots if what you're going to do is use as an input information from the same chart, same market, okay? But if you're going to go outside that chart, then now you have study bots, okay? So a study bot is something that you can add to your current data mines, okay? For example, here is a data mine with several indicator bots. I could come here and add a new study bot, okay? The components that you will see when you add this are exactly the same. Let me see if I can do. Okay, whatever. The components are exactly the same that the ones that you already know. Process definition, as you can see, is the same guy, and products. Okay, these are the processes that this bot might be able to run, and these are the products that this bot might be able to generate as output. Okay, We have the record definition, everything is the same. Okay, so I got already made an example here at this workspace, and you can see it here at studies demo data mine. So remember, when you put this, remember to configure a code name for your for your bot, so that the console logs can have something to show you, and you know that this is running, not something else. Okay, and this has a configuration that is very similar to an indicator bot, as I was telling you. So any indicator bot created in the UI, we have two processes, one for daily files, time frame 45 minutes and below, and market files 1 hour and above. Okay, and we have at least one product that represents the output data sets. Okay, so each of these processes has the same things that you have for indicators: execution finish, status report, process dependencies, process output. There is almost nothing new. All the things that you already know how to configure for an indicator bot, you have to do it here the same. Okay, the same for process output. You reference here the data set that is going to be created. Okay, there is one detail here, and it's at multi-time frame daily. At multi-time frame daily, you will need to take care of this. If you see this carefully, you will notice that you have more data dependencies than at multi-time frame market. Okay, because here you have the dependencies that we have. In this case, I set up as dependency volumes. Okay, Bollinger Bands and candles. Okay, so I am declaring dependencies, daily dependencies for this, but I'm also declaring market dependencies. Okay, why? Remember that um, at a trading bot, that when we are running in a time frame of market 1 hour and above, we have access to all the market time frames, market charts 1 hour and above. And when we are running, but from market, we don't have access to daily files. Okay, that's kind of rule for trading bots. So here happens the same limitation. When you're in the market process, we have access to other market files. Okay, but when we are running at daily time frames, we need to have access to both daily files and market files. So that's the reason why you should configure also the same dependencies but time frame market. Okay, so that's all I need to say about this. Okay, so everything pretty much the same. On the product side, there is no comment. It's the same thing. Okay, we're going to check here what is the code that I have. If you're a guy from UI UX, please check this out. We have an edit button here that is missing, an icon. Okay, so look at this. I'm saying here, well, regarding the syntax of the study bot, it supports everything you can do as an indicator bot. So that's the same way that you create stuff for indicators, it's supported. Okay, but it's also supported the objects that you can use at trading bots, which is chart, um, market, and exchange objects. Okay, so in this case, in this small example that I made, what I'm doing is to uh, put at this object, this variable, the moving average of Bollinger Band at 24 hours. Okay, so I'm going to remove this comment so that you can see it. You can see it running. Okay, so once this is not undefined, then I'm going to print the Bollinger Band with the average is whatever. Okay, so and at every cycle of execution, I'm going to print the current candle date. Okay. So what does this mean? The same that as an indicator, this is going to run if you have this process daily. It's going to run at every step that you have configured here. Okay, not here, but I mean it's going to run at every time frame, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, unless you have filters for this. And it's going to run because of this at 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So at every time frame, it's going to do the same logic in this case. No, so you have access from 1 hour to the Bollinger Band of 24 hours. That's the point that we want to prove here. Okay, what you're going to do that with that information is up to you. I'm just logging it. Okay. Um, so what else? Um, you will see that when we execute this, first we're going to see this console log for the first 20 days, because the Bollinger Band of 24 hours is calculated with 20 periods. So the first 20 days is going to be undefined. So it's not going to be printing this. Okay, so this is what we expect to see. Okay, but this is the definition. This is the example of a data mine with a study bot. And then you need to let's check out how this is executed. Okay, when you install a market, it's the same procedure as before. You will need to, if the install market script detects your bot and your data mine, which it should if you have it at your workspace, it's going to create a task for that. Okay, that is demo, and it's going to create your bot instance. Okay, and the process instance. Okay, both for multi-period market, multi-period daily. Okay, an observation is that multi-period daily is much more heavy or consuming than this guide. If you ever um, don't need actually to calculate any of the time frames of multi-time frame daily, my suggestion is that you eliminate this process. Okay, so that you only run this one. Okay, that is going to save you a lot of resources like CPU and storage and everything. Okay, so in my configuration I have this bot is waiting for Bollinger Bands. Okay, so there is a status dependency on Bollinger Band. No, not the status dependency. There is a event dependency. So it's going to start when this finish. Okay, so the sequence is that this start first. Then when it finish, start candles and volumes. Then Bollinger Bands, and finally our new guy here. Okay, so we are going to give it a run. I'm going to start. Let's check out if my console is okay. Okay, it seems to be in a good state. I'm going to start first this guy. I don't want to start everything because I have here some other tasks that I don't actually need right now. But probably I will just disconnect this, put it aside, and start everything from here. So everything's starting. I'm almost up to date with this. This running. Now this Bollinger is running. And then our study board is running. Okay, because I'm console logging, it takes ages. Okay. As you can see, we have the moving average, the Bollinger Band is working well, but it's going so fast that we cannot see the date. But we are at 1 hour. We are calculating 1 hour. Here's the day, you see, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so things are working. This finish, and this is going to take all the time of the world. Okay, so this example, remember that it was commented the the login. So if you don't uncomment it, you won't see the console log, but you will see this order of magnitude faster. Okay. So what else do I need to say about this? I can stop this. Some tips, because I was struggling to figure out why things were not working. It's very important that you, if you don't want to have any headaches here, it's very important that you understand that when you have references to that, if you want to use data from other charts or other indicators specifically, okay, you need those indicators to be present at the workspace. Okay, it's not enough to write in the code Bollinger Bands, moving average, whatever. um, it's not enough. You need to have that the data mine with that indicator present at the workspace, and not only present, and this is very important, it made me waste time when I was building this. Bollinger, or your dependency, can be at the workspace, but if the market it was not reinstalled and the tasks and the tasks of Bollinger have not been created yet, it's still not going to work. Okay? If you add a data mine to your workspace, you have to reinstall the market. Okay? Because even if you say, I don't need this for now, I just want to try and see if my indicator is working, it's not going to work, because the tasks are not only for you to run this and to stop this. Okay? There is an extra function that some people don't understand, that constitutes a definition of in which machine in your LAN network the data is going to be. Okay, so the problem of the study bot is fetching the data from Bollinger, okay, and make it available to the code that you write, okay, for processing the information. But the bot doesn't. The way that the bot knows where that data is located is by looking at the information here, data storage. Okay, so in data storage you have um, data mines data. Okay, you got the exchange and you have Bollinger. If you ever wonder why this exists, it's exactly for that. Remember that you might have more than one machine here. Usually people use one, but you might have two, three, 100. So how do you think the study bot is going to guess where Bollinger Band's data is being stored? It cannot guess. There is no magic here. The way that it knows is because it comes here to the network node or to each of the nodes here, and it's going to scan this and it's going to see where exactly this is configured. Okay, so when it finds this stuff here, then it's going to say, okay, I found Bollinger here. These are the data products. Okay, I found it here. So at which computer is this? It is at my network, my computer. Okay, it's not at my Raspberry Pi 1 or 2, whatever. Okay, so again, not only the data mine needs to be present at the workspace, it needs to be, the market needs to be reinstalled so that this data structure is created and the bots knows where to fetch the information from. Okay, so save yourself time and understand this, and then you're not going to have any problem at all. Okay, so that was an important thing to understand. Probably finally, what I want to add is that the concept of dependency filter, that I didn't see documented anywhere, but it's an important concept. Every time that you write code for a condition formula of a strategy, okay, at a trading system, when you run a bot, a trading bot, when you run, all these conditions are formula, all these nodes with code, okay, are analyzed, okay, and from all the as a result of this analysis, a list of dependencies are created that we call dependency filters. Okay, this is completely under the hood, and as a user you probably wouldn't mind or wouldn't care about how it works inside. Okay, but uh, you should care, because this sometimes people ask why my indicator is undefined or is not being recognized, and most of the time the reason is because the code that they write is not detectable, the indicator. If you write Bollinger bands moving, for example, average minus, I don't know, candle open. Okay, if you write this without spaces, then these dependency filters are not going to detect that this is a dependency, because they will get confused and believe this is something, and as they cannot recognize anything like this, then they are going to move forward, and you are going to get this undefined because this was not recognized as a dependency. So it's important to know that this exists so that you can write your code in a way that can be properly interpreted. Okay, and the dependency filters were expanded so that now they also analyze, or they can also analyze the code of study bots. So when you're writing this study bot, okay, because you're going to be referencing from your code any indicator of any chart of any market, okay, that means that you are going to be, the code needs to be analyzed, and the dependency filters are going to detect that this is a dependency. Okay, so it's going to enable the study bot to load this information at runtime later on. Okay, but it's not enough to mention this. You need to have Bollinger Band as a data dependency at each of your processes. Okay, in particular for the daily time frame, both dependency of data of daily and market, so that you can have access to Bollinger Bands at 1 minute or 24 hours if you want. Okay, so these are all the prerequisites for this to load the information and be able to be there for you to be able to process it. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. Finally, don't forget to check out these structures that you have available. That is chart data structure, and this is a message for the guys at the documentation teams. Okay, the chart data structure market data structure. This is what you can use, by the way. Okay, you can use the chart one. You can use market. These are example market EDC BTC chart 0 1 minute support base rate. This is perfectly usable at study bot. Okay, and the message for the guys is that this is not part of the trading bot anymore. This is applied both for trading bots and also for study bots. Okay, so you should fix this. Okay, but these are good example, and here is the way you use market. Okay, the root object is market, then the syntax is like this. So chart, as you already know, is explained here, and examples are like this. You are more familiar with this. And finally, you can also use exchange data structure, where you write the things like this: exchange at Poloniex at market, Ethereum Bitcoin, chart, 0 1 minute, support, whatever. Okay, so you can be accessing a specific property of a specific indicator at a certain chart uh, from a certain market at a certain exchange. Okay, if you're a developer and you're watching this and you're wondering what you can do next to contribute to the project, there is a good idea of expanding these data structures and adding one more, that is mine. Okay, mine. Why? Because there are some indicators with the same name, with different implementation from different people at different data mines. So now there is no way for me to say that I want to use the support indicator from the master's data mine. I only can say support, and if there is more than one support that is loaded at my workspace, then who knows which one is going to be used. Okay, of course you can still delete from your workspace the indicators that you are not willing to use. That is what you can do now for solving that. But also it's true that if these uh, data mines are plugins, you don't want to have a local copy, you want to have a plugin so that when they are maintained or upgraded, then you get the benefit without doing almost anything. Okay, so in an ideal situation, we should have the mine object that maybe would be to be used like mine master, then exchange, Poloniex, whatever, or maybe it is somewhere here before the indicator at 01 minute from mine masters, then support rate. Okay, so if you are a developer, this is a very specific improvement that you can make, and it would be very good. Okay, so I think I cover everything you need to know to start using study bots. I hope to see um, the first study bots created by the community soon. Um, and if you have any problem with the software, let me know. I will fix the problem, and that's all. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.